Hello, my good people. Sorry, my mic was muted. Hello, everybody. Good evening, my good people. Good evening, everybody. So I have started a poll. Whenever you get a chance, just go ahead and cast your vote in the poll and like the stream on your way in. Drop out of the clouds, stop in to say hi. I am going to do my best to have as little distractions as possible. So if it seems like I am ignoring the chat, it's because I am. Not necessarily ignoring, but I will try to focus more so on my commentary tonight. But if you have anything specific that you need me to see or address, then you can go ahead and send me a super chat. And if you would like to become a member, the membership link is pinned at the top. Okay. So today we're going to be breaking down Countess of Shopping's video regarding her changing her stance on her titration schedule on Manjaro, Zepbound, tirzepatide, whatever. I was sent this video, not necessarily with the request to review it, but as I started to watch it, I felt like it was something worth talking about. And in order to to some extent know what I'm talking about. I had to do a little bit of research. It's actually a lot of research, but I'm not done with it. So I went back to the beginning of her channel. Well, I'm lying, not the beginning of her channel. I went back to the beginning of her Manjaro, her Trizepatide journey, to the very first video, not the first video on her channel, but the very first video regarding her journey. So I went back and I started watching her videos, and I made it about 6 months into her journey. So I have some notes based on the information that I listened to or found or whatever. So I'm gonna try to fill some of those details in as we're watching her video. Now, I am not reviewing this with any I'm gonna keep my personal feelings out of it, so that I can give an unbiased review or breakdown. And we're just going to see if it's a nothing burger, not saying her content is a nothing burger, but if it's just a simple change of mind, or is she flipping the script on her audience and it's something that potentially needs to be addressed. So we are going to figure that out. As you're coming in, please like the stream. I'm going to run through and say hi to everyone really quickly. Again, y'all can talk amongst yourselves in the chat. Please be respectful to the channel and to the content creator that we are going to be reviewing tonight. I mean, y'all can have your own personal feelings. Just keep it cute, keep it respectful, okay? And I have a hard stop in 2 hours. I don't have a hard stop. I'm forcing a hard stop in 2 hours because y'all will not have me on for 6 hours. Again, Delilah, okay? I'm calling names and Missy. I'm not going to be on here for 6 hours. So at around 8 Pacific, if you guys are interested, we can transition to stereo to have a live discussion, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with stereo, I will go ahead and give a quick breakdown before we end the stream, or you can just ask someone really quickly in the chat. I'm pretty sure someone will answer you, all right? Moderators, do your thing, but pushback is not a reason to be timed out. People can say what they like. And if for some reason Countess comes across the stream and y'all see her in the chat, I didn't tag her, because I'm not necessarily trying to get her attention, but if you see her, let me know, point it out. And as I always say, if for any reason the person I'm reviewing feels like I'm misrepresenting them in any type of way, then they are free to come up on the stream and speak for themselves. All right, we got it. Okay. Hello, Journey of Life. Delilah was here first. Hey, Delilah. Hey, Nicole. How are you? Hey, Holly. Hey, Jen. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Kim is here. Hey, Kim. If you're new and you haven't commented before, or if you're a cloud watcher and you haven't commented before, go ahead and leave a comment. Good evening, Tara. Hello, everybody. Okay, I would like to see some new faces, so don't be shy. Come out of the clouds. All right. How are we doing? 8 minutes in? All right, so I need to go ahead and leave a timestamp for the playback. All right. So if you're not familiar with Countess of Shopping, I can only tell you so much. She is on, I want to say still actively on a weight loss journey using GLP-1s. Countess is one that I would consider, she's been on this journey for about 2 years, not the weight loss journey. She's been losing weight before being on the GLP-1, but she wasn't successful, or she wasn't successful in maintaining her weight loss. So we're going to get into some of that because it goes into her journey and why she decided to switch her tactics. Okay. But I consider people that have been in the GLP-1 content creation game for 2 years or more, I consider them OGs. Because they were the ones going through it when there was a shortage. They were the ones going through it when we had less information. They were the ones going through it before it became extremely popular amongst regular people. So some of them made mistakes. Some of them learned lessons, hard lessons early on. So I would put Countess in OG status, okay, as far as the Manjaro to Tizepatide content creation game. And I won't say I'm too familiar with her content, but when I was getting started on my own journey, she was one of the people that I watched briefly. And I know enough to know that she has lost a significant amount of weight, for one, but she has also stalled at certain points in her journey, and she hasn't quite reached her goal. Now, one of the elephants in the room is that we don't exactly know what her goal is. So as we go through, it'll become apparent that there's some things that we simply don't know. There's some information that we don't have, and only she can give that information. And if she hasn't given it on her channel, then we just ain't gonna have it. I'm only going to speak about what I know, what she said publicly. So I will not be speculating. And if I do start to speculate, I will be clear that I am speculating. All right. So can I get some green hearts in the chat if y'all are ready to get started? Please, everyone, take your seats. Grab your water. You know, we're supposed to be hydrating on our GLP-1s. Grab some of Delilah's tortillas. You cannot have any of my gluten-free ones. They are for me and they are expensive, so I cannot share. But I'm pretty sure Delilah will share some of her tortillas, okay? So grab some of that, grab some water, and give me some green hearts so that I know that y'all are ready to get started. Hello, Turtle Diaries. Oh, you're on your walking pad. I had the most bomb workout today, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to do that for a members only, girl. All right. Nicole, green hearts. We got Freddie. Hello, Freddie. Hey, they're homemade and she share. All right. That's 3 people with the green hearts, 3 out of 20. I'm going to go ahead and say that's enough. If the rest of y'all ain't ready, then you need to get ready. If you haven't already, please like the stream. It is free. Hit the subscribe. It is free. But if you would like to tip or donate, you can send a super chat or you can cash at me at a little vein. All right. So as I stated, the video that we're going to be reviewing, it's not necessarily a reaction because I already partially started to watch it. So it's not like a first time reaction like I would typically do. This is just me going to be breaking down the information in the video, not necessarily debunking or anything like that. We're just going to talk about it. All right. So again, if it seems like I'm ignoring the chat, it's because I need to focus on what I'm doing. So if you need to get my attention quickly, please send a super chat. All right. So this is Countess. Her channel is Countess of Shopping. If you would like to go fact check anything that I'm saying during the time of this stream, and give me a sound check. If there's anything wrong with the sound, let me know. We're going to go ahead and get straight into it.
Titrating dose trap that sabotaged my weight. Zepbound, the titrating dose trap that sabotaged my weight loss. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about titrating up Zepbound and some of the mistakes that I made that hopefully will help encourage you, coming from somebody who's lost 112 pounds over the last 2 years and 9 months of being on Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide.
Okay, so first things first, she's lost 112 pounds. I'm going to take some notes because I didn't know that. Okay. 112 pounds. And did she say 2 years and 19 months? Let me go back a little bit.
You coming from somebody who's lost 112 pounds over the last 2 years and 9 months of being.
I said 19 months. 2 years and 9 months. Okay. She lost 112 in 2 years, 9 months. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
On Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide compound, not at the same time, and because of the shortages at different times. And I really want to deep dive into this topic. In my free encouragement group, countessofshopping.com/group, there's been a lot of chatter about titrating up dose, right? Because that's part of it. We start off with Zepbound 2.5 milligrams, and it goes all the way up to the highest dose, Zepbound 15 milligrams, which I have been on for the last year and 9 months-ish.
She's been on a 15 milligram for a year and 9 months. So there is nowhere for her to titrate up to. Okay. I'm not going to speculate. Let's just go ahead and continue.
And I've got some experience, strength, and hope to talk about. Not medical advice, because I'm not any of those things. Always talk to your own healthcare provider, but from my own experience, strength, and hope of what I've done wrong that will hopefully help you do it right. So take my lessons, not the scars. Okay, let's dive in. Number one, a couple of things is that for me, there's 3 major components that happens with dose titration. Now, I'm at the highest dose, Zepbound 15 milligrams. Realistically, I should be on a higher dose of Zepbound. If there was such a thing as Zepbound 15.5 milligrams or Zepbound 20 milligrams, I would immediately get those doses just because of where my journey's been. But
okay, I paused it and then I played it because I wanted to see if she was going to tell us why. So she's been on this journey for 2 years and 9 months. She's been on the highest dose for the last year and 9 months, which means she titrated up to her 15 milligram within the first year and has been there ever since. I'm not sure why she says she should be on a higher dose. I was hoping that she would have shared that just, right after she finished her sentence, but she simply just said, based on where her journey has been. So before I get into a little bit of the background information that I found from the start of her journey, I'm going to let her speak a bit more.
On here, it is a teeter-totter saw. So we've got one lady down here and one lady up here. And I'm going to be talking about Zepbound sleep apnea near the end. But for now, this first part about side effects is going to be on weight loss. That this teeter-totter saw of I'll use my eye statements, when I titrated up, was a teeter-totter saw of going up or down on that. You guys remember those where you said, do kids even have those anymore? Are they dangerous? They were usually wooden, so you get splinters in your bottom. But you teeter-totter up between 3 different categories. The first one is its side effects versus weight loss. Now, if you're on for sleep apnea, stay till the end. Slightly different kind of concept than the weight loss component, but can you manage the side effects versus managing weight loss? Are those two on the teeter-totter saw? Ideally, what would happen for me on my journey is to be in the middle, that teeter-totter saw is even Steven.
Okay. So she's mentioned her journey twice without giving many specifics, but it's probably because her audience is already aware of some of this information. So for the people that don't know, I'm going to give a little bit of background based on what I found. So she started on Mounjaro during the shortage. She already specified that she's been on for 2 years and 9 months. The video that I saw was about 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. The first video I saw was about 2 years ago. So maybe it was a little bit more depending on how YouTube does the dates. Like sometimes it won't say, like maybe it was closer to 3 years ago, but because she hasn't hit the 3-year mark for that video, YouTube isn't saying 3 years yet. Okay. They're not going to show how many months. They're just going to show the last year or whatever. So she started on Mounjaro, and this wasn't her first step on her weight loss journey. She actually, I think her channel was based around her being low carb. So she did keto, she did low carb, she was successful at losing weight. I don't know how much. I don't know what her starting weight was. I don't know how long ago it was that she tried keto and low carb, but it was at least 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. Well, she lost a bunch of weight. I don't know how much. And then she gained it all back. Okay. When she gained all of that weight back, she, I guess, stumbled across Mounjaro as an option and spoke with her doctor about it. Now, very early on into her Mounjaro journey, Countess talks about having a food addiction. She doesn't specify. If she does, I didn't see it. I didn't see her specify if she had a particular ED, but EDs or food addiction would fall in the realm of EDs. If you don't know what EDs are, then you'll have to ask someone in the chat, because I can't, I'm not supposed to say it out loud on YouTube. Okay. So she's an admitted food addict. She talked about that at the start of her journey. And she was hoping, because she found out that Mounjaro would help, or tirzepatide would help with food noise, she was hoping that this would help address her food addiction. Now, when she started her journey, of course, like everyone else, she started out on a 2.5 milligram. And again, like I said, she started out during the shortage. She also is not T2D, at least from my understanding. She's not T2D. So she did not get coverage for this medication when she first started it, like a lot of us. So she paid for it out of pocket. This was before the vials were available. She was paying for her prescription out of pocket. She started out on the 2.5 milligram. Things were going well at first, but she still was experiencing some cravings. So she immediately wanted to titrate up. It didn't take very long. I think after the second dose, she was ready to titrate up. Now, she talked to her doctor about it, and her doctor essentially had to say, well, hold on a second. You don't want to titrate up too quickly, right? Which is, I don't know if most doctors were saying that at the time, because the common wisdom was every 4 weeks. But her doctor had to tell her, like, well, get through the first 4 doses, and then, we will reevaluate. I'm paraphrasing. So she described experiencing satiety despite still having cravings. Okay. So she could experience fullness and did experience fullness, but she still had a desire to eat. Right. So that would speak more to that food addiction or whatever ED she does have or whatever ED she's diagnosed with. Um, she did not tell me, she did not tell me, she didn't say what her starting weight was. She doesn't even say it here. How important that is to us moving forward, I will let y'all decide. But I don't know what her starting weight was. I think that that's going to be important when we get into talking about her goal and her feeling like she hasn't reached her goal. We don't know what the goal is, and we also don't know where she started from. So I think that that's going to be important and relevant moving forward. So I went over her doctor. Okay, so first month she was down 17 to 20 pounds. Wonderful progress. She lost about 20 pounds in the first month. By week 6, she was 24 pounds down, and she titrated up to her 5 milligram after the first 4 weeks, but she had a moment of hinge eating. Take out the H, put the B in. Okay. She had a moment of hinge eating on her 5 milligram. By week 9, she was 29 pounds down. Now, what I noticed about the previous content was that every time these symptoms of cravings and hinge eating came up, she would want to titrate up to the next dose. Like, immediately, she was like, I can't do this. I need to go up. I can't do this. I need to go up. Okay. And kind of had a moment of like maybe being a little bit of she wasn't sure if she was kind of being a Karen or a B to her doctor's office because they couldn't like fit her in or something. Plus there was a shortage going on. It was madness. Now she wanted to titrate up again to the 7.5 milligram to address the hinging. And her doctor encouraged her to stay at her dose because she was still successfully losing weight. This is all important when we get into her feeling like she should have titrated up quicker, right? This is all important to her feeling this way. So now that we have some background, she made it up to the 7.5. She wanted to go up to the 10. Her doctor paused her because she was successfully losing weight, felt like there was no reason for her to go up. But again, she wanted to go up again to address her eating. Now she stalled at 50 pounds down, and she was 50 pounds down in 21 weeks, which to me is wonderful progress. That's over 2 pounds, 2 pound down per week average. And she was down 55 pounds in 25 weeks. She finally titrated up to the 10 milligram, and she got stuck for 4 months due to the shortage. Okay. So that's about 6 months into her journey. We're now 2 years and 9 months in. So we're going to see how much the information that I find helps us out with going through her video.
And I think that that's a really, really important point as we focus in on these things, is not being too off kiltered with one or the other. Because if it's too much, then we are not balanced. And there does need to be some balance on there to get where we want to go with our ultimate goals. Now, everybody's body's different. Everybody's body is going to react differently with Zepbound. We know that there's hyper responders, meaning like super responders. You're losing a ton of weight very quickly. There's hypo responders. You're slower responders. Those are where's my turtles? Fellow turtles unite. There's normal responders. And then there's non-responders. We're going to talk about non-responders too, so don't fret, my pet. If the weight loss is not going as quickly as you want, and I mean quickly, I think we need to, as a Zepbound GLP-1 community, if you're on Mounjaro or tirzepatide community, take a step back and be like, okay, healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds per week per the medical community. Again, I'm not medical, but losing that per week should be the goal. We hear all of these astronomical numbers, myself included. My first week, I lost well over 10 pounds my first week. Most of that was water weight.
Okay. So, like I said, that tracks, because in the first month, it was actually 12 pounds that she lost, I remember, in the first week. But by the time she ended the first month, she was down 20 pounds. So she was incredibly successful starting out.
It's not real weight loss. That was like inflammation, like water weight stuff. But number one is balancing between too much of, as we titrate up from our first dose, going up to Zepbound 5 milligrams, am I having appetite suppression? Am I having weight loss? Am I having too many side effects? And I think with that is finding the right dose of where we need to be. And you're going to want to stay. I'm going to talk here at point number 5 about the week number you need to be at to where you need to be with your goals. If you are not there, the data is going to completely screw you.
I don't understand what she just said. I don't understand what. Hold on. I don't understand what she just
Take a
said.
step back and be like, okay, healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds per week per the medical community. Again, I'm not medical, but losing that per week should be the goal. We hear all of these astronomical numbers, myself included. My first week, I lost well over 10 pounds my first week. Most of that was water weight. It's not real weight loss. That was like inflammation, like water weight stuff. But number one is balancing between too much of, as we titrate up from our first dose, going up to Zepbound 5 milligrams, am I having appetite suppression? Am I having weight loss? Am I having too many side effects? And I think with that is finding the right dose of where we need to be. And you're going to want to stay. I'm going to talk here at point number 5 about the week number you need to be at to where you need to be with your goals. If you are
Nope, I still don't understand. So maybe it's just me. Now I'm gonna actually pause and ask you guys a question. Are you following so far? I'm not really sure what she's trying to say here. I'm not really sure what she's saying as far as balance. I do understand she's saying you wanna be in tune with your symptoms, your cravings, how you're feeling. I get that much, but I don't really understand what she's saying after that or around that. Um, but maybe it's me. Are you guys following? Are y'all understanding like what she's talking about? Because I'm not super clear on it. I'm not asking anyone to explain it to me. I just want to. Is anybody lost, or are y'all got a good grip on like where she's going with this? Let me know in the chat.
not there, the data is going to completely screw you for a lack of better terms. And so you want to be at that. And I'm going to talk about that here in a minute, but we need to talk about side effects first, because that's the most, in my humble opinion, when we talk titrating up with your healthcare provider, because this should be a conversation the two of you have together. If you're working with a healthcare provider that you're not chitter chattering back and forth with, find a new.
I think what's throwing me off is that I'm hoping it's early in the video, but I'm hoping we get to what she did to sabotage herself, because that was what the title was. But it sounds like she's addressing to the audience what you should consider when titrating up. So let's see if she actually gets into how she sabotaged herself.
Healthcare provider. They should be talking with you through this process. But we know that there's evidence showing us where we should be with our side effect, with our dosing to get to where we want to be. But there's side effects involved: diarrhea, constipation, nausea, vomiting. 2 years ago and 9 months more than that, I started taking Element electrolytes. I started taking them. They have them in stick format. They do also now have them in sparkling cans. I'm obsessed with them.
Disclaimer, when she is doing her advertising stuff, because I don't have timestamps, I'm just gonna speed it up to get through it, because that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about.
Because they helped me so much with side effects. I typically don't take the full stick now. I don't really need it because they don't have the side effects that I once had, which are diarrhea, constipation, nausea, vomiting. I typically now have about a third of the stick to half a stick per day. I love the orange flavor. There's a ton of different flavors you can get. I tend to hyperfixate on one particular flavor. We use these for my son for his soccer games, for leg cramps. So if you're having leg cramps, these are an awesome Zepbound side effect for that too, I found. It has magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So yes, it's going to taste salty, but I encourage people, make it your own. Add more, like a 40-ounce tumbler with it if you want more water to flavor it the way you want. For me, it's been so incredibly helpful. 2 years and 9 months, something that I've pretty much had almost every single day. It's been so helpful. Now, in addition to the side effects, now because I'm lifting, I take it when I'm lifting because I get really sweaty, Betty. And so now it makes sense for me with my workouts to take my Element electrolytes. And so they've been very generous. They, meaning Element, has been very generous to give us a discount code at drinkelement.com/queen, QUEEN. You can get free sticks with any stick purchase. Very generous of them for the Countess of Shopping community. I encourage everybody, run and get some. They're my favorite. My favorite flavors. Son's favorite is watermelon. So there's a ton of different flavors to get the most. And I think this is to find the lowest effective dose for each person. That is that conversation with you and your health. Those side effects, super important to get the most. And I think this is to find the lowest lowest effective dose for each person. That is that conversation with you and your healthcare provider that you need to have of not having too much. So typically speaking, if Zepbound 5 milligrams is your dose, you'll lose 15% of your body weight, 34 pounds on average. Like if equating for the data that's speaking of that. 15 milligrams loses.
Another thing, let me double check. I didn't see the link to the study that she's reading. Let me double check because that'll be a wonderful reference point. I don't know where this data is from. Amazon store. The article that she's reading, I don't see it linked. So I can't like not necessarily fact check, but I can't get my own interpretation of what what the study says, because I just have to take her word for it. I just have to take her word for it. So we'll continue.
20.9%, so almost 21% of body weight, which is 48 pounds. For me, I've lost over 38% of my body weight. So, which is again way above the. I always talk about how I'm a turtle, but one of you beautiful souls was like, Elizabeth, you've lost, and I think it was Clokey. If I can, Clokey was the first one. Was like, Elizabeth, you're way above the average. So keeping that perspective in mind, that if you're on that lower dose of Zepbound 5 milligrams, it's 15% body weight. Zepbound 15 milligrams is almost 21% body weight. So
okay, so if she's lost 38% of her body weight, which is more than the highest dose, like the highest percentage in the studies, I'm not really sure what the problem is or where the sabotage is. But again, I'm going to keep listening. I really wish, I don't know if what she's saying is correct because she's reading something, but I don't have the reference point. So I wish she would have linked it. I looked, I didn't see it. Maybe I overlooked it. So if anybody else knows where she's getting this information from, let me know, because I don't know where she's getting this from.
For me, if I could go back, my biggest mistake was, why didn't I go faster with my dose?
Okay, there it is. But how do we get there? How do we get to, okay. What I'm trying to say is, we get that she feels like she made a mistake, but we don't know why she feels this way. And I don't feel like she's doing a good job explaining it, because she just said what the percentage of body weight is lost on a 5 milligram and a 15 milligram. And she's crushed both of those numbers. But if she could go back, she would change what she did. Do I need to rewind a little bit so we can hear it in full context without me interrupting?
You'll lose 15% of your body weight. Oh, they do. That's his favorite dose for each person. That is that conversation with you and your healthcare provider that you need to have of not having too much. So typically speaking, if Zepbound 5 milligrams is your dose, you'll lose 15% of your body weight, 34 pounds on average. Like if equating for the data that's speaking of that. 15 milligrams loses 20.9%, so almost 21% of body weight, which is 48 pounds. For me, I've lost over 38% of my body weight. So, which is again way above the. I always talk about how I'm a turtle, but one of you beautiful souls was like, Elizabeth, you've lost, and I think it was Clokey. If I can, Clokey was the first one. Was like, Elizabeth, you're way above the average. So keeping that perspective in mind, that if you're on that lower dose of Zepbound 5 milligrams, it's 15% body weight. Zepbound 15 milligrams is almost 21% body weight. So for me, if I could go back, my biggest mistake was, why didn't I go faster with my dose?
I don't
I
understand.
have erroneously told you if you go back.
Okay, but maybe I need, so we've heard it in full context. 112 pounds down, which is 38% of her body weight. If anybody knows the math, let us know where she started from. I don't know how to reverse the percentages. I don't know how to do it. But I still don't get why she felt like she should have gone faster. Okay, so if we do the math, 38% of 294 is 112. That's what she lost. She said she was over 300 pounds, so perhaps not much over, since she said over 38%. When did she say she was over 300 pounds? Kim, is that something she said in like a previous video that you're familiar with? Because I thought she never shared where she started. Oh, Delilah got it first. 295. 295 is the starting weight. If 112 is the amount she lost, approximately 38%. She said over, but let's go with approximately. So sounds like wonderful progress to me, but did she say before that she was over 300 pounds and I just didn't see that video? She says it all the time. Okay. All right. So I thought that she never shared her starting weight, but someone that's more familiar with her says that she clearly says she was over 300 pounds. All right. So losing 38% of her body weight, but she feels like she should have gone faster. Okay. Let's see if she tells us why.
In my videos, I have hundreds on my GLP-1 weight loss journey. I encourage you, just hit the playlist down below. You can see I'm really a much bigger person and I literally lost 112 pounds. You can go back through those videos and see, I used to say, and it was a big mistake, go low and slow.
Okay, so we're at low and slow being a mistake, and I'm gonna check out the poll. I'm with Journey. Wait, what? LOL, my math isn't great. Okay, so let's go back. So here's the thing. We still don't know how much she weighs because even if okay, so what's 295 minus 112? We could do that real quick. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's accurate because she didn't say it. She says over a lot. She says over. So we don't know. 295 minus 112. 183. We're gonna guesstimate 183. She lost about 50 pounds a year, according to what she says. Maybe on average, but no, she lost weight faster than that because her first 50 pounds was in 6 months. She was down 50 pounds in 6 months. I watched the first 6 months of her journey, so I know that much. Now, when you average it, then maybe it'll work out to 50 pounds per year. But she got 50 off in the first 6 months. That much I do know. About 180. She may not have been at her highest weight. True, because she was losing on keto and stuff. She did say she gained some of that weight back. She never gives her exact weight. So I'm correct about that part, at least. I'm not off about saying she doesn't give her weight. She says over 300 pounds, over 38%, over 112 pounds, or 112 pounds exactly. She was already 26 pounds down prior to starting Mounjaro, according to her own video, just a few before the first Mounjaro announcement. So 38% while on Mounjaro, maybe that's what she's saying. And does she say she was 300 pounds when she started a shot? Okay, so because so many people are asking the question, that means we don't have clarity. So I'm going to go with that. I wasn't far off to say that she doesn't give exact numbers, but we can guesstimate based on what she is saying. All right, let's continue. Let me go back a little bit, actually, because she just says something important.
Mistake was, why didn't I go faster with my dose? I have erroneously told you, if you go back in my videos, I have hundreds on my GLP-1 weight loss journey. I encourage you, just hit the playlist down below. You can see I'm really a much bigger person and I literally lost 112 pounds. You can go back through those videos and see, I used to say, and it was a big mistake, go low and slow.
So we have the premise that go low and slow was a big mistake. Okay. Now let me in the poll. The question of how do you titrate up? Most of you said low and slow. Oh, my poll disappeared. Where did it go? Oh, that's weird. I'm not sure why it disappeared. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I'm not sure why it disappeared. Oh, you know what? I'm in the wrong thing. No, I'm not. I'm in the right place. Okay. All right. I was going to start another poll, but let me see what she says first.
I wish, but I had a point of where I had a weight plateau and a weight stall. I wish I didn't go low and slow. Part of that was the Zepbound and Mounjaro shortage. But part of that, I wish I had gone faster because the data tells us at 15 milligrams, it's 20.9% to almost 21% versus 5 milligrams, which is 15%. Right there.
See, this is why I need to know what she's reading so that I can interpret it for myself. Because it sounds like she's implying the faster you titrate, the faster you lose weight, or the faster you titrate, the more weight you lose. That's what we'll do. That's the poll we'll do. That's the poll we'll do. Oh, there it is. 65% said low and slow. 30% said it's random when I feel like it. 4% said every 4 weeks. And nobody said they haven't titrated up yet. All right, so let's start a new poll. Let's start a new poll. All right, go ahead and cast your vote in the poll.
Had a point of where I had a weight plateau and a weight stall. I wish I didn't go.
Now, it's important here. We don't get this information. She says she had a weight plateau and a weight stall. We know that the words stall and slow responder and all of these different things get thrown around without any context. It would be very helpful if in this moment she said, here's where I started. Here's how long it took me to lose X amount of weight, which I can tell you guys 50 pounds in the first 6 months. Here's where I stalled. My stall turned into a complete and utter plateau. Here's the weight I was when I was at that plateau. Here's what I was doing at that time and nothing was working, etc., etc. You see how that information kind of becomes important? So let me go back to the numbers that I gave y'all before. Because we don't know when this plateau was or what her weight was at this plateau. And I don't think anyone owes us their weight. I just think it's helpful since we're talking about our weight, right? So month 1, she's between 17 to 20 pounds down. That's 4 weeks. By week 6, she's 24 pounds down. And she's on a 5 milligram. By week 9, she's still on the 5 milligram and she's 29 pounds down. She titrates up to the 7.5 milligram and she keeps losing weight and she stalls at 50 pounds down. She actually made it to 50 pounds in 21 weeks. That's about 5 months, maybe 6 months. 55 pounds down in 25 weeks. And then she stalls at the 55 pounds for 4 months. And then she's 61 pounds down by month 8. So, and this was just 8 months in. I'm sorry, I said I only went 6 months in. I actually went 8 months in. This is only her first 8 months. She's stalled, from what I can gather, multiple times, depending on her definition of a stall. So it would be nice to have these numbers. Like, which stall or plateau are you talking about? We kind of need that information. Now she wanted to go faster. I had a doctor tell me to get as much off in the first year as possible. She may be referring to summit studies that Eli uses. I would need the specific one that she's reading so that I can reference it point for point. She may cover this. She may go over this. I think it's because the weight loss slows down after the first year, but she may cover that. If you're putting yourself out there and want to help you, the least you can do is give your starting weight. All right, let's continue.
Low and slow. Part of that was the Zepbound and Mounjaro shortage. But part of that, I wish I had gone faster because the data tells us at 15 milligrams, it's 20.9% to almost 21% versus 5 milligrams, which is 15%. Right there, in terms of the average, that's an actual 14 pounds difference. So that right there, that's number 2, which is really, really important. But the fourth most important part that we need to talk about is getting to our set point. There is a clock that is tick, tick, ticking per the data. This is not me saying this or making this up. It is per the data. Tick, tick, tick. 72 weeks is where we get to a set point with Zepbound, of basically where our body's like, that's where you're going to set.
So now this is probably why I can't confirm or deny this because I haven't researched it. But this is probably what what y'all are referring to in the chat with doctors saying get as much weight off in the first year as possible, because a year is what, 52 weeks? So beyond that, you have about 20 weeks to lose as much weight as possible, and then the weight loss will start to slow. This is per the Zepbound studies from my understanding, but I don't have it in front of me because I don't know what she's reading
for your weight loss journey. For me, you best believe I wish I had been at my set point at 72 weeks, and I was not. And so this is one of my second mistake. Get to 72 weeks. Like, you need to keep that in mind. And so at being at the 36-week mark, that's a halfway point of like, okay, am I near that goal? Because soon, this is on average, not everybody's the same, of course. Some people are more, some people are less, but it's 72 weeks for Zepbound. For my Wegovy besties out there and semaglutide besties and Ozempic besties, it's in the 50-ish week mark. It's actually less. It's 1 year-ish into that. Whereas for Zepbound, it's 72 weeks. Again, some points it's more, some it's less, but it's that set point. And if not everyone needs 15 milligrams, but if you are having weight stalls, weight plateau, and it's been enough time, talk to your healthcare provider. This is where that conversation is super, super, super duper important, because there is a clock that is ticking.
Right. So if we go with that, we still don't know what her goal was. And the only reason I'm harping on that is because this is her. Okay. It is her stance that she wished she should have titrated quicker. I think people deserve to know why she feels that way. I'm just going to put it out there, because this wasn't her stance before. Feelings change all the time. Perspectives change. Things change. Experiences change. So now that she's saying she wished she had gone faster, it would make sense to tell us why, other than the study says so, which I'm not so sure that that's what the study says, the study that she's reading. Sweet Tea sent me a link to the Surmount trials. I don't, is that what she's reading? I don't know. Let me take a quick skim. So this says tirzepatide as compared with semaglutide for the treatment of obesity. The New England Journal of Medicine. So they were tested, or the trial was, they took their injections for 72 weeks. The primary endpoint was the percent change in weight from baseline to week 72. Key secondary endpoints included weight reductions of at least 10, 15, and 20% and 25%, and a change in waist circumference from baseline to week 72. Total of 751 participants underwent randomization. Blah, blah, blah. The least squares mean percent change in weight at week 72 was negative 20.2%. This doesn't sound like what she was reading. Your link actually didn't send me to a direct page. It sent me just to Google. Like it gave me a list of websites to choose from, and I just chose the first one. So thank you for that, Sweet Tea. But I would really like to know exactly what she's reading from. It's an unfair statistic she's sharing. Being at 15 milligram versus 5 milligram at 72 weeks isn't fair. Well, here's the thing. I would like to confirm whether or not the information is being misrepresented. And I can't, because I don't know what she's reading. And I'll be honest, I'm not about to research it here on the spot. If you are giving a source, I want to read from that source so we can address what you're saying based on that source. So we don't have that. So that's I mean, we just don't have it. But thank you, Sweet Tea, for the reference point.
Tick, 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 boom. And I wish I had gotten to that clock faster. My life would have been more easy if I had been at that 15 milligrams sooner.
But okay, so the clock is hey, kitty witty. So let's say the clock is ticking. Let's say that that's true. I'm not saying it's not. Let's say that we have a 72-week clock to get off as much weight as possible. I'm still not getting why she's saying she should have gone quicker. I'm not understanding. For one, she said part of the reason that her titration worked out the way that it did was due to the shortage. Now, based on what I saw and what I read to you guys in the beginning, like the notes that I have, she was rushing to titrate up because she was hinge eating. I don't know if she's still hinge eating, but she was hinging, and I'm not judging for that. I'm sharing what she shared publicly. Whenever her hinging started to come up, she was trying to titrate up, and there came a point where she just couldn't. whether it was because of the shortage or because her doctor said no, because she was still successfully losing weight. And Mounjaro is not for the treatment of hinging necessarily. Like, it may help, but that's not what it's for. Yet every time she had those symptoms, you know, in the Surmount trials, people on higher doses of tirzepatide, 10 milligram, 15 milligram, had larger total weight losses at 72 weeks compared with lower doses. So if that's what she's reading from, she's not giving all of the information, which I would like to have it in front of me. Like, I don't want like what she might mean. I want the direct document that she got her notes from. I want the exact same document. Even if it's multiple sources talking about the same thing, that's not an apples to apples comparison. I want to know exactly where she's reading from. So, because what if she's reading from a reference point that is misrepresenting the data? And it's not necessarily her misrepresenting it, but it's where she's getting the information from. I need to know her source. Even though the trial information is public, I need to know where she got her information from for this reason. She reports recent hinging when her husband lost his job at Homeland Security. Okay, so she's still going through that. Okay. I find it hard to believe that her doctor told her to slow down 3 years ago. That wasn't the norm. When I went back in her videos, she said her doctor didn't necessarily say slow down. She was on okay, so per my notes, she was on her 2.5 milligram, and she was surprised that she had hunger and cravings. Well, she was surprised that she had cravings in her second week. So she was already like, can I titrate up? And the doctor was like, you got to get to week 4. That's not abnormal. That actually makes sense. They told her she has to get to week 4. Now, when she got to the 5 milligram and she was on the 5 milligram for 2 months, her food noise and cravings started to come back. And she's like, I need to titrate up. And the doctor, according to her, back then, not this is what she's saying now, back then, when she was doing the videos in real time, she said that her doctor recommended staying on her dose because she was losing weight. So this is 8 weeks into her journey. I don't find that hard to believe. I don't think every single doctor was just like, okay, whatever, it's 4 weeks, titrate up. I don't think every single doctor did that. So I don't find it hard to believe that her doctor told her that, because she was upset about it. She was upset. She's like I need my medication. I need this, I need that, because the food noise. This. But eventually she did titrate up. It didn't, what I didn't confirm is whether or not her doctor not folded, but like whether or not the doctor pushed back but gave it to her anyway. That part I didn't confirm. I know she eventually got to the 10, but I have it here in my notes. So she titrated up to the 7.5 because she was hinging. The doctor encouraged her to stay at her current dose while still losing weight. So I'm guessing she didn't get her 10 right away. She was, so by week 9, she was 29 pounds down. She got to 50 pounds down in 21 weeks. I have in my notes, let me make sure I did this right, because I have in my notes that she titrated up to the 10 milligram after 25 weeks and being 55 pounds down. Interesting. She was hinging at 5 milligram, 29 pounds down. She wanted to titrate up to the 7. That's what happened. She wanted to titrate up to the 7.5, and the doctor told her she was losing weight, so to slow down or whatever. Okay, so what I don't have in here is when she titrated up to the 7. Okay, so she probably did titrate up to the 10 after 25 weeks. There's probably something about a shortage in there. Okay, all right. Oh, no. It wasn't as long as you can. She was successfully losing weight. Sorry. It wasn't like she was successfully losing weight. That's why her doctor was like, well, just stay. And that was at the 5 milligram. Zepbound wasn't out yet. Okay. 36 watching, 15 likes. Tammy, said to get y'all shit together. Please like the stream. Please like the stream. Please like the stream and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't make me be one of them people that gotta pause the stream until we get a decent amount of likes. Okay, like don't make me sit here and sip on my coffee and be cute until we get like at least 25 likes. Don't make me do that. Don't make me do that. Okay, please like the stream, subscribe, and consider becoming a member.
I erroneously said, oh, go slower. Da, da, da. No, the data does not support that actually.
And you know what? Here we go, pausing again. That's what happens. You know, like not liking the stream is bad juju. Not liking the stream is bad juju. Y'all got to get it together because here we go, pausing again. She's saying, now I don't know her content enough to know if this is true, so y'all can tell me in the chat. She is saying that she said erroneously, she was like, oh, go low and slow. Did she say go low and slow? Was that her thing? Because for the first 8 months, no, it wasn't. So I would have to investigate further. Like I'd have to get further into her content, which I will. So we'll obviously do a part 2 of this. But for the first 8 months, there was no low and slow. It was, I want to titrate up because of the hinging. And I don't know why her doctor wasn't just telling her like, that's not what this is for. So I don't know. I don't know. But if she was saying go low and slow, y'all let me know in the chat.
Really, no. The scientific data in which we have now, we didn't have that data when I was saying that. We have the data now, the scientific data to support the 72-week point mark and the 15 milligrams of the specific weight loss component of that. So I think that that's really, really important to share as you're plotting and planning the titrating up on your dose of where you need to be on your journey, because this is an individual journey. I cannot harp that enough.
Okay, so now that we've heard her out, does anyone feel differently? Like, because I don't feel like she did a good job explaining this. This is why I wanted to know what she was reading. She said, we didn't have the studies at the time that I was saying that, which I don't know how long ago it was. So y'all tell me. She said, we didn't have the data, but now we do. So I wish I would have gone faster. But from what she said, it didn't say if you go faster, you're guaranteed to lose more weight. So I'm not understanding the conclusion that she's drawing. And I feel like the whole story is not being told here, and that's misleading people. And people may not know that that's misleading, right? Like, you know. Thank you, Journey. Journey says we have 18. Can we get to 20? Can we get to 25? I'm bougie and I'm vain. Can we get to 25? Realistically, we should be at 30. But I know a couple of y'all gonna be lazy, okay? So does anyone feel like she presented the evidence that suggests that had she titrated up quicker, she would have lost more weight? Is that what we're getting? Y'all let me know. I have seen a video where she says stay on each dose as long as possible because once at 15, there's nowhere to go and she wishes she could go higher. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. So when I started this a year ago, I don't necessarily recall her saying the words, but I do recall getting the impression that one of her mistakes was getting to the 15 too quickly. Which, if she stalled out on the 10 milligram for 4 months, she's 8 months in, she didn't get to the 15 milligram quickly at all. Like if you titrate every 4 weeks, you'd get to the 15 in about what, 6 months? 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15. And in 8 months, she wasn't even, she was at the 10. She was still at the 10 in 8 months. So I don't feel like she titrated quickly at all, but I do recall getting the impression that she felt like she titrated too quickly. So when I go through more of her content, I need to see what the basis was for her feeling like she should have gone slower at that time and now feeling like she should have gone faster. I believe she thinks that if she had gone up quickly to the 15 before 72 weeks, she may have been closer to her goal by then. One, we don't know her goal. maybe that is what she's saying, Kim. But to that, I would say, like, in general, one, we don't know her goal. Two, we don't know when she made it to the 15. We're assuming she made it after the 72 weeks based on what she's saying, but I'll get there eventually in the content. But I don't, so what? But what is she, and you know what else she's not saying? She's not specifying what she means by faster. Does she mean every 4 weeks? Does she mean every 8 weeks? Well, like, she's not specifying what she means, because if she's suggesting every 4 weeks, then she's saying she wished she would have gotten to her 15 milligram in the first 6 months. And if that is the case, is she saying she would have gotten to her goal weight, like, quicker? Is, like, I don't, we need more information. Jen says, obviously we have people on 5 and 7.5 that have lost over 100 pounds and met goal. I also watch content creators that moved up every month and met their goal. Tammy says, Vanity, love your energy. You're cute. I say that appropriately as I have a child your age. I wasn't offended. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. We are all different. Does she have to skip a dose or two because of shortages? At least until the 10, no. Between the 2.5 and the 10, no doses were skipped. She went on a 2, she went on a 5, she went on a 7.5, and she went on a 10 for 4 months. That much I do know. Now, did she go from a 10 to a 15? I don't know that much yet. Okay, let's continue.
That it is a balancing act on your teeter-totter saw of side effects versus weight loss. If you are having blowout diarrhea and you can't keep anything down, or you're so nauseous you can't function or go to work, or if you're a mom or a dad, or you can't properly do your job because you are so nauseous, diarrhea, constipated, or vomiting, you should not titrate up on your dose. And I don't want to shit all over you, but so I would instead rephrase that, saying you need to be having an intense conversation with your healthcare provider of, why am I titrating up? I can't keep anything down. I'm super nauseous, or I am constipated. I haven't pooped in days. You see what I'm saying? I think that that's a really important part of this dialogue. It blows my mind when I see people in my free encouragement group at countessofshopping.com/group, people talking about, oh, I'm titrating up, but I can't hold food down. I'm so nauseous. Why are you titrating up? Why is your doctor having, again, I'm not medical at all, but why are you titrating up? Should you maybe rest in that week to get caught up? Or instead of taking the dose every 7 days, maybe take it every 8 days or 9 days or whatever. Again, that is a conversation for you and your healthcare provider. But I think that this is the important dance.
Okay, I don't disagree, but I feel like she's not addressing the topic, which is really, like, irritating my soul, because she said that she sabotaged her weight loss, and that I just feel like when you're teaching people something, if you change what you're teaching, or you change what your feelings are about something, people should understand, like, where the change is coming from, or people are going to assume that you're flip-flopping. I'm not saying she is, but let's start a poll. Let's do another poll. Let's do another poll. um Is that what I want to ask? Because I'm trying to get at, like, 39 people watching, 20 likes. Please like the stream and support the channel. Please, pretty please. Y'all have time while I create this poll to go ahead and hit the like. What I'm trying to figure out is, how about, okay, that's what I'm going to ask. Based on what you've heard so far, do you understand why her stance changed on titration? I can't vote in the poll, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, no, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know how you can hinge on this medication at any dose. I never heard her say she couldn't find the med. She just needed to look for it. She may not qualify for Retta because of BMI. She will not get Retta. Something changed for her, but I mistakenly thought it was missed doses. You like the polls. Thank you, Nia. Why will she qualify for Retta? Did you mean no, not? Retta is for morbidly obese. Her BMI will be too low. Yeah, she does say that journey. She's going to be in for a rude awakening. If the reports from early users are accurate, it doesn't have the same effect on food noise or appetite suppression. Got it now. You said she would not qualify. I wouldn't be surprised if her BMI is 40. Okay. So go ahead and vote in the new poll. I have another one. I have another poll. Let me write it down so I don't forget it. I should have asked this one first. Okay. I'm still not understanding, but let's continue.
Of getting to the set point time, getting to our weight loss goals, knowing what realistically with our body weight percentages at 5 milligrams, it's 15% of our body weight. At Zepbound 15 milligrams, it's 20.9% of our body weight. How does those all balance together? Because if we need to have that balance. Or my mistake is you'll end up like me and somewhat disappointed. I'm not disappointed.
Okay. Maybe she'll tell us why. Let's go back a little bit.
15% of our body weight. At Zepbound 15 milligrams, it's 20.9% of our body weight.
But how does this make any sense? Am I missing something? How does this make any sense if she already says she lost 38% of her body weight? She would have lost more had she titrated up quicker. But how? I mean, I'm not saying she couldn't have because we're all different. But like, how are you assuming that? If she's saying roughly 20% of body weight at 15 milligram, and she's been on 15 milligram for a year and 9 months, that means she got to her 15 within the first year. Okay, so let's do this. So we know at month 8, she was on 10 milligram. And we know at least month 13, she was on 15 milligram. So month 8, hold on. Month 8. So 9, 10, 11, 12. So within the next 5 months, she went from, within a 5-month period, she went from a 10 milligram to a 15 milligram. We don't know how long. I know she was on the 10 for at least 4 months. I don't know how long it took her to titrate up to the 12.5 and then the 15. But is she saying that 5-month difference, like let's say she had went from the 10 to the 12 to the 15 in a matter of 2 to 3 months, that would have significantly changed her outcome? That would have gotten her much further than 112 pounds? If so, how much further? And in what time frame? And what's the goal? We don't know. We don't know. $40 people watching, 26 likes. Y'all are gonna push me. Don't push me. Don't push me. Y'all gonna make me get ratchet. I'm gonna sit here and read the comments till I get 30 likes. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. Or if I get 2 people to fall out of the clouds, one or the other, because we're vain over here and I am the most vain. Okay, this is all about me. All right. So either 2 new people fall out of the clouds and comment and say hello, or I need 30 likes. Okay. Okay, so is she saying 72 weeks it doesn't work anymore? Not that it doesn't work, but apparently, according to the studies, which I haven't read, the weight loss slows down significantly. I'm sure she'll find someone who will use her starting BMI to get her on when she's willing to self-pay. Hers and Redder, people are combining. If a doctor is willing to write a script, then yes, that will be putting their license in jeopardy if something happened. Hit the like button. Hey girl, dad, thank you so much. Tammy says, not sure she's rich is relative. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like y'all personal stuff. I'm just trying to leave it out. Okay. So y'all was stupid. Oh my God. Is she still hinging on the 15 milligrams? Someone said she was recently talking about hinging within the past 3 months or so. So allegedly she is. Yeah, I don't know about kickbacks. Hashtag vain. Very much so. Like, please, can I get to 30 likes? Or I need 2 people to say hello, I'm vain. I'm vain. Hello, I'm vain. Hello. Hello, I'm vain. Okay, 27 likes. We're almost there. I get to 30, then I'll go ahead and push play. All right. You liked it twice on 2 devices. Why would you tell me that? Because now I'm about to subtract one of the likes. All right. So, okay. So what she calls hinging on the med. I didn't take notes on that. I will say that from what I understand, she is aware of a food addiction. I don't know if she's diagnosed necessarily or what she's diagnosed with. I know that hinging and food addiction can be a sign of an ED, but if she has one, I don't know what it is or what, like I said, what she's diagnosed as and what she qualifies as hinging. That I don't know. I'm not sure she specified. I'm not sure if she specified. Because we also don't know what she considers a stall. We don't know what she considers a plateau. We don't know what she considers faster titration. We don't know what she considers she said she would not have been disappointed. But we don't know what she's disappointed in. Like we can infer that she's disappointed that she didn't reach her goal, but we don't, because like, okay, let me be ridiculous for a second, hypothetically. Imagine someone losing, this is a hypothetical, imagine someone losing 112 pounds and being disappointed that they didn't lose 122 pounds, right? Some people may think that that's reasonable. Some people may not. It's relative, right? So it would help to know. It would help to know so we can get an understanding of like, okay, should I titrate up quicker because of what this person went through? Or like, people use this stuff as a reference point. That's the whole point of watching. So I'm just saying, we don't know what her reference point is. We don't know what anything means. We don't know what anything means. Okay. She calls it hinge eating. Okay, VR. Hello. VR, you're not new. I don't think you are. So that doesn't count. But I think I might be at 30 likes already. One of y'all can let me know. She says she had a diagnosed ED, but I don't know which one it is. Do you know? How can you even overeat on this med? Plenty of people do. BED has specific criteria to be a true hinge. God damn it. She uses words so willy-nilly. It could be anything at this point. Yeah, we don't know. Oh, you just tuned in 2 minutes ago. Hello. I ate a candy bar before dinner. I could have waited, but shot is wearing off and I wanted a candy bar. Okay. All right. It's just it isn't that hard. It just doesn't feel good after. Okay. All right. So let's continue because she's at the point of saying that she doesn't want people to be disappointed the way that she would.
How does those all balance together? Because if we need to have that balance. Or my mistake is you'll end up like me and somewhat disappointed. I'm not disappointed because I've completely changed my life. Me lifting now and doing the things physically that I'm doing. I mean, that is.
What do y'all think about that? Journey just ruined it for y'all. She told me 28 still. So go ahead and get us to 30 likes. But what do y'all think about that odd segue of, I wouldn't want you to be disappointed how I was. I'm not disappointed. What do y'all think about that? Let me go back a little bit.
15% of our body weight. At Zepbound 15 milligrams is 20.9% of our body weight. How does those all balance together? Because if we need to have that balance. Or my mistake is you'll end up like me and somewhat disappointed. I'm not disappointed because I've completely changed my life. Me lifting now and doing.
Or you'll end up like someone like me that's completely disappointed. I'm not disappointed. Which one do y'all think it is? Now, this is pure speculation. Which one do you think it is? Okay, most of y'all, based on what you've heard, you don't understand the change in her stance. Okay, let me go ahead and end that poll. And let me start a new one. Let me start a new one. Oh, crap. My keyboard isn't connected. Now, were you surprised that she changed her stance? Yes or no? I'm not going to give 50 options. Yes or no? Maybe everybody doesn't have this experience. I'm not sure. And are you on Manjaro or Zepbound Sushi Fitness? Because Zepbound is the one more tailored toward obesity. So it may have more of an effect on appetite than Manjaro. I don't know if that's true, but I know that the ingredients are slightly different, even though the active ingredient of tirzepatide is the same. I think she looks great. If I was just starting, this would turn me off a bit. Tell me more, Jen. What would turn you off about it? I think she is somewhat disappointed, but also realizes it's a little ridiculous for her to feel that way. Okay. I'm not surprised by anything. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Go ahead and vote in the poll and let me know if you're surprised by the stance change.
Things physically that I'm doing. I mean, that is a miracle. And I'm so incredibly grateful. Don't get it twisted. Like, my life is so different from when I started Zepbound, and there was no such thing as Zepbound, but when I started with Manjaro, it's the same thing, just different FDA approvals now. When I first started, my life is so different from now, but I wish I had pushed a little bit further to get to that set point. If I knew what I know now, I feel like I would be in a slightly different spot.
What? Okay. What does any of that mean? What does any of that mean? And I'm not trying to be like mean about this, but like, what does that even mean? Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Because I'm not really sure what she means. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what she means. 38 people watching, 28 likes. Please go ahead and like the stream. I appreciate all of you for watching. But I'm not really sure what she means.
Miracle. And I'm so incredibly grateful. Don't get it twisted. Like, my life is so different from when I started Zepbound, and there was no such thing as Zepbound, but when I started with Manjaro, it's the same thing, just different FDA approvals now. When I first started, my life is so different from now, but I wish I had pushed a little bit further to get to that set point. If I knew what I know now, I feel like I would be in a slightly different spot.
What set point? And what different, like what I would like to know, because okay, let's go back to Jen's comment. I think she looks great as well. Although how we look and feel about ourselves is relative, right? So that's for one. So I would never want to tell someone how they should, not that you're doing this, but it's just me talking. I would never want to tell someone how they should feel about themselves. So if she feels like she still has more weight to lose, then she feels like she still has more weight to lose. But back to the point was, if I was just starting, this would turn me off. I would have to agree because I am very confused. If this is the first video of hers that I watch, I have no idea where she started from. All I know is she lost 112 pounds and she seems like she didn't get to where she was trying to go. And although that does happen, it kind of makes me feel like, which I'm responsible for my own feelings, but it kind of makes me feel like, so are you saying it was like kind of meh? Is anybody getting meh vibes? I'm getting meh vibes. I'm not even gonna do a poll. I'm gonna just put this one in the chat so I can put it on the screen. I, I'm getting the like it's giving me the vibe of like the journey was like meh, like I lost 112 pounds, but I could have lost so much more. And it's like, okay, but it's almost like she's trying to justify, like she's trying to overly justify gratitude, but doesn't really feel it. And I'm not saying she has to. Who the hell? We're vain over here. We're vain over here. So if we don't make it to our goal, we're not gonna stop until we make it. So that part I get. But it's like, if this is the first video that I come across, I'm getting disappointment. Even though she's saying she's not, I'm getting that vibe. And not the journey as in the journey of life. The Manjaro journey, the Titration journey was given. She's giving like it was meh. It was meh. You've never heard the terminology meh? Like mid, like it was so. Okay, let me try again. So. It was kind of like so. Like her experience was so. Okay. That's where you insert your goal weight is by 2.5 years. Your goal weight is by year 2.5. She has good results and says her blood work is good. She's able to do things for her son and ride horses. Wonderful. So she has resentment but doesn't want others to have that position. Oh, is that what you're getting? Okay. Tara says I think she still wants to lose weight but doesn't want to say it out loud. Why not? We're vain. I mean, she's maybe not vain. Maybe she's not vain enough. Maybe she doesn't know it's okay to be vain. Like, we know it's okay to be vain. Okay. Anyway, she would have lost more weight by the 72-week mark when your body hits its set point. But that's okay. The trial was 72, and I'm not saying this to you, Kim, but just in response, the trial was 72 weeks long. That doesn't necessarily mean that, like, I think, okay, studies and trials are ballparks and overviews, but they give us, they're like a guide, right? But they aren't hard, steady, fast rules. So she don't know that that would have been the case for her. Like, it's almost kind of like an assumption is being made, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if she's misrepresenting what she's reading. That's why I would like to know where she's reading it from. Not who's mad. I'm so out of touch. Maybe she thought if she knew what she knows now, she would have done things differently and got to her goal weight faster. I get that. Yes, I would say she is saying that, but we don't have all of the extra information to make that make sense, right? Because like I said, if I'm a new viewer watching this for the first time, I would wonder why she feels this way. It's the why that I'm not understanding. Because if she spent so much time talking about go low and slow, and she lost 112 pounds, but doesn't, it's almost given that that wasn't successful to her. Like 112 wasn't crossing the line of success, which, like I said, I get if you have a goal in your mind, but we don't know what the goal is. That goes back to my point of, imagine if a person loses 112 pounds, but that last 10 is irritating their soul. I think that it's important to have that reference point versus a person that lost 112 and they're like, I should have gone faster because I still have another 100 pounds to lose and I'm almost at my set point. I think it makes a difference which one we're talking about and everybody in between. And I don't know which one she is. I don't know if she got another 10 pounds to lose or another 50. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but aren't we in this community to be honest about it? I wish I could have, I wish I could have lost more, or damn, I lost too much. Am I just too open? Or are we just vain? Are we just a little too vain? Because like, I'm not stopping until, well, I'm not, we're Zep bound lifers. Okay. Can I get some diamonds in the chat? Zepbound is forever like diamonds are forever. We are Zepbound lifers over here. Or if you're on a semaglutide, okay, you can hang, but you can't have none of the bottled water. You can drink the tap water, but you can hang. You can come in the room with us. But we're Zepbound lifers, so it's not like we plan to stop anyway. But of course, we want to make it to our goal. It's okay to be loud and proud about that, I think. But it's kind of like she's beating around the bush about it. Maybe that's what it is. Doesn't sound authentic. When you are keeping it 100, things make sense. We talk about pooping, for God's sake. Y'all want to see the poop chart again? We need to check on y'all's poops. I thought she was referencing a person like a rapper. Oh gosh. Vanity is one thing, but lack of authenticity is another thing. I'm sure many of us would have done things differently if we could go back in time. Yeah, I would have never gotten a 6-month supply of compound. I don't recommend that for anybody. Don't do that. If you are not at sidebar, damn it. If you are not in maintenance, do not. I'm your doctor. I am your doctor. I'm your therapist. I'm everybody in this moment. Do not get a multi-month supply if you are not in maintenance. Okay. If you are not in maintenance or at the highest dose, if there's room for you to titrate up and you still got a goal to reach, do not get a multi-month supply. Do not get a multi-month supply, because if you have that supply on hand and you need to titrate up, you are stuck with the supply you got, especially if you're on compound. If you got insurance coverage and you can play around with the different doses and you can get multiple different doses every month, then fine, do what you do. But if you are stuck with one dose at a time, do not get a multi-month supply until you reach your goal, or you are in maintenance, or whatever comes first, or you're at the highest dose. If you're on a 15, or if you're in maintenance or whatever, whichever one comes first, then fine. If you want to get a 4, 5, and 6 month supply, first of all, on compound, don't get no 6-month supply. Don't get no 6-month supply on compound. Don't do that. But a 2-3 month supply, I wouldn't recommend it, but don't do it. Don't do it. You will be stuck and you're gonna be mad as hell. Okay, sidebar over, and I'm no longer your doctor anymore. Okay, so anything I say moving forward is not medical advice. No, Jen, you're not wrong. I make it my goal to always be open and honest, even with the hard things I'd rather hide from myself. Okay. The trial can't go on forever. Exactly. Totally agreed. It should be a place where you share how you really feel. She's on 15 and has no higher dose to take her to reach her ultimate level of skinny. Okay, so you think this is about, because I asked y'all this before, but there are some new people here, so I'm gonna ask it again. Let me start a new poll. Tara, let me start. Nope. Most of you weren't surprised. Some of you were. Okay, let's start a new poll. What? Here's the question. What comes to mind first when you think about reaching? No, not when you think about reaching your goal. No. Hold on. What came to mind first when you decided on your weight loss goal? That's what we're going to do. Okay. The way you look, BMI, weight on the scale, metabolic markers, metabolic markers. Okay. Go ahead and cast your vote. What came to mind? What came to mind first? If it's multiple, you need to pick one. If all of these things came to mind, you need to pick which one came to mind first. What do you think about first when it comes to setting your weight loss goal? How did you pick your goal? Was it based on how you want to look? Was it based on your BMI? Was it based on a number on a scale? Or was it based on your metabolic markers? So like your blood work and things like that, your A1C. Okay. Tammy is a Zepbound lifer. We got us a diamond. I wouldn't be surprised if this video is a segue to her starting to promote other peptides. I couldn't even tell you of another peptide other than semaglutide. I couldn't even do it. Not the Venetian sidebar. It doesn't show for me on StreamYard. She did a video talking about people saying she must be doing something wrong when she was stuck at 108. I think they said they were not going to follow her recommendations because she was stalled. Thanks, God. Thanks, Doc. You're welcome. You're welcome. No more free medical advice. No more. That's it for the rest of the year. Even name brand, I don't recommend a crap ton of single dose. I have 4 months in my fridge now, and I'm just staring at it like, oh crud, fudged up. I don't think she's being honest with her audience because she is so vague about her starting weight, current or goal weight. She doesn't even tell her height. Instead, she will say, I'm nearly 6. She doesn't say, she says nearly 6 feet. But because I noticed she did that with her weight as well. She said I was over 300 pounds. I lost over 38% of my body weight. She's 6'1". She's a big girl. She talks about her thick thighs and legs. I think she is heavier than we think. On her lives, she is still thick, and her doctor said she needed to lose more. No shade. Well, okay. I don't think anything about her weight. I guess I'll say that. I think she's heavier than we think. I don't think anything about her weight. Not necessarily. We tried to guesstimate it in the chat based on the information she gave. So maybe we got close, maybe we didn't. Comments like that, and 2 years, 9 months, and not a goal weight can leave you feeling disappointed when you've lost over 100 pounds. Let's see. There's a ton, not all are weight related. Oh, y'all are talking about something different. The comments I'm talking about are the criticisms about her stall, right? Sharia, are you new? Are you a first timer in the chat? If you are, welcome. I hope you had a soft landing. If not, then don't ignore me. Just keep being vain, girl. Or guy. I don't know. Let me know. I used to watch her content. She has stated that she pays out of pocket and titrates up when she feels an inkling of food noise. Yes, we talked about this. If she did it all over again, she would not have moved up so fast. Well, is it Sharia or Sharia? If it's Sharia, press 1. If it's Sharia, press 2. Well, now the reason we're doing this stream is because she says she should have gone faster. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? She says she's saying, this is a recent stream. She's saying she sabotaged her weight loss by not going faster. But before, you and some other people have been saying throughout the chat that she usually said, Sharia. It's Sharia. That was one, right? I forgot which one was one. Some other people have been saying that she said that she moved too quickly for the longest time, and now she's changed that. Okay. All right. So let's see where the poll is at. So what came to mind first when you decided on your weight loss goal? I'm gonna need more people to vote because y'all are almost dead even. The way you will look is coming in at 33%. Metabolic markers is at 22%. Weight on the scale is 33%, and BMI is at 11%. I'll go ahead and give mine. Mine was my BMI. I was in like virtually morbid obesity, which I'm pretty sure they don't call it that anymore. So that scared the hell out of me. So mine was, I'm trying to get to a normal BMI. But right now, weight on the scale and how you will look is tied. Okay. Press 1 like I'm talking to my pharmacy. This is how I figure out how to say people's names. Don't trust fast talking salesmen. I am trying to, let me just put it out there because it's the elephant in the room. Okay. I get that she sells a lot. I don't have a problem with her selling, and I'm doing my best not to comment on it because I don't think it's the GLP-1s that she is selling. It's the other stuff. And all of that is completely irrelevant to me. So I know she does it. I'm not sure how much that does for her credibility, if that's what you're getting at with the trust thing. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just trying to purposefully leave it out so it doesn't give that I'm picking on her about her selling. All right. So let's continue.
I'm going to get, like, I'm where I want to be. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm almost to where I want to be. And that's incredible. And it blows my
What?
mind. And
No,
I'm so,
see,
so grateful.
we can't even get anywhere. Oh my God. Are y'all giving me bad juju because y'all are not liking the stream? Because every time I try to hit play, it's like she says something else that we need to stop for. Okay, go ahead and like the stream. But she just said, she just said, I'm where I want to be. I mean, I'm almost where I want to be, Um,
different from now, but I wish I had pushed a little bit further to get to that set point. If I knew what I know now, I feel like I would be in a slightly different spot. I'm going to get, like, I'm where I want to be. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm almost to where I want to be.
I'm where I want to be. See what I'm saying? I'm almost where I want to be. I'm not doing that. Y'all need to break the tie. No, it's 31 people watching. Tell them to vote. Delilah, I'm not doing the same poll over with the ties. No. Y'all go break that tie. She does sell GLP ones. You can do that. I didn't know you could do that. Okay. I didn't know you do that. Oh, are you talking about like as a affiliate for like Compound? I was pre-diabetic and obese with high cholesterol. Oh, and perimenopause, metabolic markers for sure. Okay. 30 likes, 33 people watching. Okay. Nia. She contradicts herself consistently. Okay. Prove you three aren't sleeping and like the stream. I literally just wanted to get under 200 pounds and said anything extra was just a bonus. My weight goals changed as I hit them. Okay. So where are we? Weight on the scale is winning. Okay. At 37%. All right. So I'm going to leave the poll up for a little while. You guys go ahead and cast your vote.
And that's incredible. And it blows my mind. And I'm so, so grateful. However, I feel like for people who are coming after me, now that I've been on this for 2 years and 9 months, these mistakes could have been prevented. And like I said, take the lesson, not the scar of where you are. So if you're at Zepbound, it goes Zepbound 7.5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, 12.5 milligrams, 15 milligrams. So if you're not having the weight loss you're wanting with the conversation with you and your healthcare provider, again, can we just make that the caveat that that is permanent? So I don't have to keep saying it over and over. But 10 milligrams, you're not where you want. Can you go to 12.5 milligrams? Now, one of the other things that we have to throw into this pot of soup is insurance companies. Insurance companies are not making this easy for us. Can we just all agree on that? That for some of
She mentioned the people coming after her and not making the mistake that she made. But I don't think she did a good job laying out that her titration was a mistake. Because one, she didn't explain. Okay, hold on. See, we're never gonna get through this. I'm gonna just let it play, but let me say this. She mentioned the people coming after her and wanting to save them from themselves essentially by sharing her mistakes. But one, she doesn't share her titration schedule. I shared it because I did the research. And we only got up to about 10 milligrams in the research that I did, 10 milligrams, up to 10 milligrams in 8 months. She doesn't share how her titration schedule was a mistake, other than to say I should have gotten to the 15 milligram faster because I would have lost more. I don't think she did a good job making her point, is what I will say. But let's continue.
y'all, it is a fight of you're being switched from Zepbound over to Wegovy, and you don't want to because you know the data says that it's going to be less of a weight loss. And that's frustrating. And I get that that's frustrating. And we've talked about that on another video. So I'm going to stay at the task at hand about titrating up here with Zepbound. But changing our lifestyle habits is the other component that's in here. That's number 6. Changing our lifestyle habits need to be a part of this equation. And if you are at your goal weight or close to your goal weight and you're not talking to your healthcare provider about lifting weights, what are you doing, bestie? We know that there's muscle mass loss. We know that we need to combat that with lifting weights in some capacity. Now, your body's different than mine, of course. And so everybody's not the same, but really the data tells us, data, I made you out of clay. Like the data tells us that we need to be lifting weights. We need to be. Because we're going to sneeze and break a hip. Literally, not literally, but kind of. And so we need to get strong with that. If you have not incorporated, and for me, I always say this, I didn't incorporate weight training until well after my first year, really into my second year. And so for me, I'm saying that in retrospect, like I couldn't have done that my first year. So if you are focusing on your lifestyle change, specifically just with food, you get a round of applause from me and a woo, 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 because we need to be working on our lifestyle changes. It's just, for me, I couldn't handle that many lifestyle changes at once, or else they wouldn't have been permanent lifestyle changes. You see?
Okay. So we have some muscle that she's building. Will that factor into her not getting to whatever goal she's trying to get to? This is really hard to do without knowing where she's trying to get to. That is like key. It's so important. Like knowing where you came from, where you are, and where you're trying to get to. Let me just go ahead and do this in the chat. Starting weight, current weight, goal weight, and height. Height. If you would like, go ahead and complete the template that I'm sending. Let me know your starting weight, current weight, goal weight, and height. If you are currently on a weight loss journey, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, if you're on a weight loss journey, go ahead and share that with us if you so choose. If you've been here a while and I kind of already have an idea, then you don't have to.
So let's talk a little bit about obstructive sleep apnea. Obstructive sleep apnea, the maintenance dose for that, and that's slightly different if your goal is not with weight loss. Specifically, it's more on those, and I know many of you, it is just for the sleep apnea component. 10 milligrams and 15 milligrams is the recommended maintenance dose per my research on this. I don't have sleep apnea, so I cannot speak for my own experience, strength, and hope that I normally do like I can for weight loss journey. But I do think that that's an important piece of this puzzle too, is we've got the FDA approval for sleep apnea. And there's going to be a bunch more FDA approvals coming on the market as more things are in the pipeline for different diseases that tirzepatide works with. And for the Wegovy folks too, I'm lumping y'all in for those as well. But we go back to figuring out how to mitigate those side effects while reaching our weight loss goals, while factoring in the time frame of 72 weeks, while factoring in the difference in weight loss with that too, of hitting like a Zepbound 15 milligrams versus say 5 milligrams, and camping out there. Some people's bodies can't handle going higher than that, because then this is the other component of it too, is then they're losing way too much weight too quickly. They're a hyper responder and their body's just melting. Like if we lose too much weight too quickly, that's also not good for our bodies either. That hair loss and a bunch of these other things too. So factoring that component, or if you're not losing weight as quickly as you want, titrating up the dose. You see what I'm saying? And hopefully this helps broaden your perspective of like, oh, I can now help.
Do we agree with that? If you're not losing as much weight as you want, titrating up the dose. Do we agree with that? I'm not saying she's right or wrong. I'm just curious. If you're not losing the weight that you want, why is her hinge eating not coming up in this moment about like the whole titration thing? I wonder why. Interesting. So we have Nia with starting weight 250, current weight 156, goal weight 170. Wow. So you went past your goal. Okay. Are you going to try to regain the weight? Starting weight 219, current weight 180, goal weight 170, 5'11. You're super close, Pat. Starting 280, current 216, goal 185. You're really close too. Starting 252, current 128, goal 150. Jen, I know, height 5'8". I know you're trying to regain it. Starting weight 289, current 154, goal 150. After tummy tuck 140, 5'4". I'm guessing you meant starting 220. Wait, oh, highest weight 220, starting 206, current 150, goal 140, 5'6.5". That half an inch is super important. Starting 193, current 164, goal 150, height 5'8". Interesting. Okay, so Sydney, you were one of the few people that had less than 50 pounds to lose from the start of your journey, or from the start of your GLP-1 journey. Congratulations to everyone. Thank y'all for sharing as well. Anybody else wants to share? I'll go ahead and put those up as well.
Have a conversation with my healthcare provider because I understand a little bit more where they're coming from in terms of my side effects management because they are responsible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're having really bad nausea, ask for a prescription for Zofran or whatever your doctor thinks for anti-nausea. Or if you're having like blowout diarrhea, talk to them about what's the brat diet, bananas, rice, applesauce, toast, something like just temporarily. And that could just be for day 2 and day 3. For me, that's when I feel peak appetite or peak side effects is 24 to 48 hours. And then by day 5, half-life dose, I'm much better at day 5, day 67. And so you see what I'm saying? Like that could also be playing with this too. But I do think it's really important of how are we managing our appetite suppression with all of this. The fastest way I knew to titrate up was when my food noise, food chatter, and appetite suppression changed. And again, I camped out on dose. I was on 12.5 milligrams for 6 months.
Okay, we have more information now. We have more information now. Okay, so where I left off at she was on a 10 milligram and she got stuck for 4 months. So she went to a 12.5 and got stuck there for 6 months. She spent 4 weeks on a 2.5. I believe she spent at least 8 weeks on the 5. I'm not sure how long she spent on a 7.5. I'm not sure. But I know she spent 4 months on the 10. And she just said she spent 6 months on the 12. Let's see if she tells us why she spent 6 months on the 12.
Y'all, I wish I had been on it for like a month or 2. I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like this is where you can't go back. Like in hindsight, that's great. But if I could tell my former self, babes, go up to 15 milligrams after a month or 2, you'll probably hit your goals more quickly. And my goal is quickly of being let's 1 to 2 pounds per week. You see what I'm saying? 1 to 2 pounds per week. I'm not saying because it's not healthier per the medical community to lose more than that on a consistent basis, week after week after week after week, right? You see what I'm saying? I wasn't hitting that, and that's where I'm like, ugh. Because the 72-week mark came, tick, 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 boom, and I was not at my weight goal. And that set point, not everybody has to be at 15 milligrams at that set point, but keeping that in mind would have been helpful. And that was
something is not being said here, and it's irritating me. Something is not being said here. Okay. How much effort do I want to put into like breaking this down? Because there's something she's not saying. Something's not being said. Let me rewind this a little bit.
I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like this is where you can't go back. Like in hindsight, that's great. But if I could tell my former self, babes, go up to 15 milligrams.
Why didn't she go up to the 15? Could she not find it? Or did she believe that she should be on a 12.5 for as long as possible? Because I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that she stayed on any dose because she simply just wanted to. And she also goes on to say that she wasn't even losing a pound or 2 per week. Why did she stay on that 12.5? Does anyone know? Because she's saying she would have told her former self to titrate up to the 15 sooner, within a month or 2. But so why didn't she? Why was she on that 12.5 for 6 months?
After a month or 2, you'll probably hit your goals more quickly. And my goal is quickly of being 1 to 2 pounds per week. You see what I'm saying?
She would have reached her goals more quickly, but she was at 61 pounds down in 8 months. I actually don't know what that averages out to. That averages out to about almost 2 pounds per week. So I'm not sure what she's talking about. Okay. In 8 months, by month 8, she's 61 pounds down. That's roughly 2 pounds a week. She said that was her goal. I see Sydney. There's less than 10 minutes left in her video, so we can go past a little bit to finish out her video. But do y'all see what I'm saying? Like, even if, okay, so because it was in shortage, okay, but let's get back to that in a second. She just said that her goal was 1 to 2 pounds per week because that's healthy weight loss. By 8 months in, she's losing 2 pounds per week, roughly, like maybe a tiny bit more or less, but definitely more than 1.5 pounds per week. She's like super close. You can basically say she was averaging 2 pounds per week. And then she titrates up to the 12.5. So she said when she gets to that 6-month window, she's not losing 1 to 2 pounds per week. We would have to know more. I'm just going to say that. That don't add up. That don't add up. That don't add up.
1 to 2 pounds per week. I'm not saying because it's not healthier per the medical community to lose more than that on a consistent basis, week after week after week after week, right? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't hitting that. And that's where I'm like, ugh, because the 72-week mark came, tick, 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 boom. And I was not at my weight goal. And that set point, not everybody has to be at 15 milligrams at that set point, but keeping that in mind would have been helpful. And that was a mistake. But there's the other part of that. And I feel like more will be revealed on, you guys know, more will be revealed out of this. I think it's really,
I'm sorry. I know I said I wanted to be out of here in 2 hours, but I got to do this math real quick. I have to do the math real quick. She's been on 15 milligram for 21 months. Okay. I have to do this math real quick just to make sure I'm not tripping. She's been on the 15 milligram. She said, 8 months is about 16 weeks. I'm sorry, 32 weeks. So 32 weeks in, she's 61 pounds down. But she said she wished she would have gotten to the 15 milligram before her set weight at 72 weeks. But she was on her 12.5 for 6 months. VR says, Vanity, thanks for being real, honest, and straightforward. Few influencers are. Gotta run. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. I didn't lose when I ate barbecue and Chipotle. Forget it. I changed my mind because I'll be here all night. Is that fact that after 72 weeks on the meds, you hit a set point? That's not a fact. That's a reference point based on a 72-week study. That's a reference point based on a 72-week study that after the participants, after 72 weeks, their weight loss, I'm not sure if they continue to monitor them or something, but it seems like their weight loss started to slow down. So that's where she's getting that from. I feel like she's leaving something out, and she's trying so hard to leave it out that her timeline isn't adding up. But I'm not going to spend too much. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to figure it out.
Forced me that I wouldn't have worked as hard as I've worked for my lifestyle changes. I've had to weight train. I've had to work out in addition to being in a calorie deficit and learning about calories. And working that in, like how to do that in a healthful way. And as I'm very like on the doorstep of maintenance, my calorie level has changed. And so then how to acclimate with that and deal with more calories with that. And am I gaining weight with that? Like it's been a new, you go back to the teeter-totter scale, that's saying new level, new devil. Now I got a new teeter-totter scale going to maintenance of like, are my calories right on maintenance as I stay at this dose? How does that work? I'll still probably, many of you guys have asked, I'll still probably stay at Zepbound 15 milligrams. And then some people stay at Zepbound 50 milligrams and then they go to like every 10 days for their shot, or they take down in a dose. I will stay probably at Zepbound 15 milligrams, but at a higher calorie. I won't be in a calorie deficit. Because I'm also working on weight training and I need to have more calories while I'm weight training. So I won't be in a calorie deficit, but that has been interesting. So that's like level 2. And if you want to hear more about that, tell me in the comments below. Like that's something I'm literally meeting with my dietitian on Thursday to recheck in about my calories for maintenance. I can't wait to have that conversation with her. So pray for me. I'm like really excited about that.
How did we get to maintenance? Is she okay? So now is she settling on just maintaining where she is? Did I miss something? How did we start talking about maintenance? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because I don't like being confused. This is what I'm asking. How did we get to talking about maintenance? Let's go back a little bit.
To being in a calorie deficit and learning about calories. And working that in, like how to do that in a healthful way. And as I'm very like on the doorstep of maintenance, my calorie level has changed.
I'm on the doorstep of maintenance. Now, I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm not trying to be an asshole here. Hit the like if you agree that I'm not about to be an asshole. Okay, give me some inspiration. But here's the thing. You have to pay attention to the way that she speaks, because it's almost like she's talking in code, and I don't know why she does this. It's almost like, so she's not technically lying, but she's not technically telling the whole story either. She just says she's on the doorstep of maintenance, meaning like you're right there. Let's do another poll. This is going to be completely subjective. This is pure speculation. We're going to speculate now. We're going to 1000% speculate. We're going to 1000% speculate. Okay. What do you consider the doorstep of maintenance? Within 10 pounds of your goal? Within 15 pounds? What the hell? Roughly. Let me know what y'all think. Okay. Now, go ahead and cast your vote in the poll. She says she's on a, this is important. Now we're gonna finish this. We are gonna finish this. I actually think we're making great time. This is not gonna take another 3 hours. It may take another 30, 45 minutes or so. If she would just give her exact weight, it would be so much easier. Absolutely. Her degree is in marketing. Jadonnet, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correct. Okay. I said many comments ago, she talks in circles, so she can say I didn't say that. Okay. 4 pounds away and not in maintenance within 5 to 10 pounds. Or maybe I should have did ranges, because 5 to 10 pounds will be within 10 pounds. So think from the number down. So like, what do y'all consider? This is we can't read her mind, right? But what would you consider the doorstep? Like you're so close, you can taste it. You just gotta put your hand on the knob and turn it, and you're there. Well, how close do y'all think that is? Within 10 pounds, within 20 pounds, within 30 pounds, within 40 pounds? What do you think? I'm gonna let y'all vote, and then we'll continue.
And so then how to acclimate with that and deal with more calories with that. And am I gaining weight with that? Like it's been a new, you go back to the teeter-totter scale, that's saying new level, new devil. Now I got a new teeter-totter scale going to maintenance of like, are my calories right on maintenance as I stay at this dose? How does that work? I'll still probably, many of you guys have asked, I'll still probably stay at Zepbound 15 milligrams. And then some people stay at Zepbound 50 milligrams and then they go to like every 10 days for their shot, or they take down in a dose. I will stay probably at.
She oddly moved into talking about maintenance. There's nothing wrong with speculating on how you do your maintenance. There's nothing wrong with that. I am fascinated. I listen very closely. I am fascinated about the doorstep of maintenance. Okay. We can knock this out real quick. And please like the stream if you haven't already. Okay. 92% of you said within 10 pounds of your goal, and 7% said within 45 pounds. Now I feel like somebody's trolling me. There are 35 people watching. Just really quickly, go to the chat and go ahead and cast your vote. What would you consider the doorstep of maintenance? Now, most of y'all said within 10 pounds, so I don't think that's going to change much. You know what's funny about that? What did I say earlier? Why did I say it was so important to understand, to know and understand what she's talking about when she says she should have done this because of X, Y, and Z, which we still don't understand? Because of what? Why is it important that we know what her goal is and how far away from it she is? First one to get it gets a gold star. First one to get it gets a gold star. Within 5 pounds. Now, didn't I say earlier? Didn't I say earlier that this was important because what if, I don't know, I'm speculating, right? We don't know what her definition of what on the doorstep is, but based on how y'all feel, it's roughly within 10 pounds of your goal, right? But she could, for her, it could be 45 pounds, who knows, right? But let's just speculate. Didn't I say earlier, it's important to know this information because what if a person lost 112 pounds and they're doing all of this because they didn't make it to 122 pounds down? They didn't get that extra 10. I think that's kind of important for the listeners. If you are a person saying that you sabotaged your weight loss because you did it wrong after people have been following you for an extended amount of time, not following you literally, but like listening to your content and understanding and learning, and now you flip the script to I should have done this faster and I sabotage my progress, but we don't have the full context of the progress. What if all of this switching up is based on a 10-pound difference? What if all of this switching up is based on a 10-pound difference? What if she's 10 pounds away from her goal and she feels this way? You see why her goal becomes important? She just said she's on the doorstep of maintenance and casually went into talking about maintenance. Casually. She said the doorstep. Y'all feel like the doorstep is within 10 pounds. So hypothetically, what if she's within 10 pounds of her goal? Wouldn't be worth it? She would have to tell us, Pat. She didn't give the information, so all I can do is speculate. Why didn't she clarify her weight? What is the motive of her not providing the numbers? Don't know. Why? Because don't y'all feel like that's a little okay? I'm giving my opinion here, which I really didn't want to do, but I'm gonna give it. I find it to be weird that a person would say, I'm at the doorstep of maintenance, but not give that number. Like, even if you don't want to tell us what your weight is, I find it weird that you wouldn't just say, I'm within 15 pounds of my goal. I'm so close. I'm within 5 pounds of my goal. I'm within 20 pounds of my goal. I'm within 12 pounds of my goal. I'm so close. Why would you go out of your way to not say that? Why? I'm not saying she has to. I'm just asking a question. She don't owe anybody anything. I'm just asking a question. Why say I'm on the doorstep of maintenance versus saying I'm 13 pounds away from maintenance? I'm 8 pounds away from maintenance. I'm 35 pounds away from maintenance. It's so close. I can taste it. Because closeness is relative. We may feel like 10 pounds at the doorstep. She could feel like 40 pounds or 18 pounds at the doorstep. We don't know. But hypothetically speaking, no matter what the number is, why not just say it? I don't know. Let's continue.
About 15 milligrams, but at a higher calorie. I won't be in a calorie deficit. Because I'm also working on weight training and I need to have more calories while I'm weight training. So I won't be in a calorie deficit, but that has been interesting. So that's like level 2. And if you want to hear more about that, tell me in the comments below. Like that's something I'm literally meeting with my dietitian on Thursday to recheck in about my calories for maintenance. I can't wait to have that conversation with her. So
this was over, I think this was about a week ago. So she's already meeting with her dietitian about maintenance. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, she ain't got that much more weight to lose until she's in maintenance. I'd easily say potentially less than 20 pounds if she's already meeting with her dietitian about it. Okay.
For me, I'm like really excited about that. But everybody's body is different with this. And how do we get to our ideal goals with it too? One of the other important factors in here is age, right? Like somebody who's like, I'm in my 40s versus somebody who's in their early 30s and wanting to have babies, or in their late 20s wanting to have their ultimate goal is to get pregnant. And with that component in there of getting pregnant versus somebody who I'm entering like perimenopause versus somebody who's in like their 70s or late 60s, and these different factors we have to focus in on too, because that's part of this pizza pie too. Again, we are all different. And with men, we know that men lose weight more slowly on GLP-1 medication than women. So if you're a gentleman and you're watching this and you're getting frustrated, it's like, I feel like the one time where women usually lose weight more slowly than men. In one instance, we are losing weight more quickly than you are. So if you're having that too, that's something to talk with your healthcare provider about as a gentleman, just having the expectation that may take you longer with that. But the dose is such an important part of this piece. And many of you with this titrating, your insurance is dictating that. It's not you making that decision with your healthcare provider, but I want to put you in the driver's seat. I want you to feel like you have control in that conversation of figuring this all out, because I think it blows my mind. I'm like, why is somebody titrating up and they're on Zepbound 7.5 milligrams and they're getting forced to go to Zepbound 10 milligrams when they're just having continuous blowout diarrhea? Somebody's like, I literally just pooped my pants. And I'm like, why are you getting titrated? Like, that blows my mind. I feel like that's so not healthy. And that is where I'm like, red flags as like a bestie. I'm like, with a non-medical background, not having all the.
I'm so sorry. You know what? Maybe this is me judging, but this is 1000% irrelevant. It's not irrelevant to one's journey, but it's irrelevant to her topic of how she sabotaged her journey and what she should have done differently, and why her feelings changed from low and slow to titrate up quicker. She's not explaining that. We got to kind of go around and loop the loops to kind of infer what she means. What does this have to do with blowout diarrhea? How are we talking about why you should go faster, but talking about diarrhea? I get that she's saying that, oh, people shouldn't titrate up if they have diarrhea. I get that she's saying that, but that's not necessarily relevant to what we're supposed to be talking about. But okay, whatever.
the facts, because we also don't know everybody's medical conditions either, right? There's other pieces to this pie too, that it's not one size fits all. It's not one dose fits all. And not everybody's going to be at Zepbound 15 milligrams when they get to their set point and the point that they want to be with their goals. So I think it's an exciting conversation. Like, I always go back to such gratitude. What a great time to be alive. Like, we are so blessed to be able to have access to these medications. Other foreign countries don't even have access to these medications, and we do easily have access. And we relatively do. Always there's the price component, insurance component, and all of that. But we are so lucky. If you're on this medication, I pinch myself, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so appreciative that I even get the opportunity to do this, because I fully recognize the HE double hockey sticks that I had when I weighed over 300 pounds, and being almost 6 feet tall. Like, it's
Oh, oh my God. When I weighed over 300 pounds and being almost 6 feet tall, this is almost definitely a marketing tactic. And this is not about her sales, but this has to be like the almost and the overs and the sort of kindas and the not quites. Wow. Why is she already talking about maintenance when she isn't even there yet? I thought this was a good question. If she's almost in maintenance, why would she be wanting to try Retta? Why did she start out by saying she should be on a higher dose of Zepbound if she's almost in maintenance? I don't get it either. I think she's trying to be careful that she's not influencing people to titrate up when they are having bad side effects, protecting her brand and business. Sure, I get that. But if she made more sense about what she was saying, she wouldn't have to do all of that. I feel like she has to throw in that extra disclaimer because she's not being clear about why her stance is changing, because she knows she's an influencer and people are going to look at this and be like, oh, I can titrate up faster. She wish she would have titrated up faster. Maybe I should try to titrate up faster. Now, I'm not saying people should necessarily be gullible, but she's not being clear on why her stance is changing. So she's throwing in the extra disclaimers is how I see. I'm 5'11" and I never say I'm nearly 6 feet. No one talks like that. No one talks like that. People say their height. Even the half people, the half-inch people, the 5'3.5" people, the 5'4.5" people, we even say 5'3.5". We don't say nearly 5'4". When I ask y'all starting weight, y'all don't say over 200 pounds. Y'all just say the starting weight. Whatever. Okay, we're almost done.
Now being able to stop my portions and be like, okay, I'm full. Like, and knowing what it felt like not to be full really ever. And so having like even just that piece is what a gift. So after this, I'm going to go drink some more water. I've been really focusing on my hydration from our earlier videos talking about how important and why the science backs hydration. So make sure that you also run and skadoodle down in the description link below. I'm going to have
okay. So we made it to the end of her video. Sabotage my weight loss with Zepbound dose trap. I don't think this was covered at all. I don't think we got to the bottom of this at all. So I asked in my title, did she flip the script? I'm gonna go ahead and start a poll. If I say I'm gonna start a poll one more time, I'm gonna go ahead and start a poll. Did she flip the script on her audience as far as titration goes? Did she flip the script? Or did she pretty much, just reflect and give some good insight as to what she would have done differently? I'm almost 6 feet tall. We're now vague and vain. We're vague and vain. I need a sort of kind of emoji. Sort of kind of. Sort of kind of. Maybe for like a week or so as a joke. Sort of kind of for the members. I'll give y'all a sort of kind of emoji. Vague and vain, or a vague emoji, an approximate emoji. I'm approximately 5'4". I'm almost 5'4". I'm just under 5'4". She's planning her plastic surgery next year. She needs to have maintained her goal weight for 1 year before her doctor will perform the procedure. But okay, but according to her, she's not in maintenance yet. She's on the doorstep of maintenance. So let's just read some of the comments. Well, hold on. Let me let y'all vote in this poll first. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do the poll. Okay, now go ahead and vote in the poll. Did she flip the script on her audience as far as titration? And then I'm going to have you guys vote on, I need 2 more polls. I have 2 more. Or well, the last one you don't need to vote on. You can just tell me in the chat. So I'm going to ask, do y'all want to read some of the comments? But that's going to be a poll because I'm going to do it based on percentage. I'm not going to do it based on what you say in the chat. And do we need to go on stereo, or are we pretty much satisfied with where this is ending? My take on this is her topic wasn't addressed. I don't know why she changed her stance. Other than to say she's under the impression that had she titrated up quicker, she would have lost more weight sooner. I don't think that she made a good argument for that, though. Now, there's also the set weight argument. She would have gotten more weight off before getting to her set weight at 72 weeks. Getting to your set weight at 72 weeks is not a guarantee. We don't know that she's at her set weight. We don't know that. That's just a reference point based on the study. But go ahead, and if you haven't liked the stream already, like the stream. If you have not spoken up yet, at least 15 of you to 20 of you haven't said hello. You haven't dropped out of the cloud. So go ahead and do that. Vote on this poll so I can do a poll on whether or not you guys want to read the comments. 90% of you so far are saying she flipped the script. That's only 10 people out of 35. Y'all can do better than that. Go ahead and vote. Vogue and vain. I think we need a, do we need Vogue, vague and vain. Do we need a for the members? Do we need a vague emoji temporarily, or do we need like sort of, kind of, just about, almost, just under? What should it say? We didn't get any answers, just more questions. I would agree. This answered nothing, which is why I want to know. Do y'all think she flipped the script? And if you do think she flipped the script, do y'all think it's because she really believes what she's saying, or this is just a ploy for content? Do y'all think she's doing this just for content, just to have something to do a video about, or you really think she feels that way? Okay. 90% of you feel like she flipped the script. Okay. All right. One more poll. Okay, there's another poll. 37 people watching. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. It's free. If you would like to become a member and get you a beautiful, adorable, cute vein badge like you see in the chat, go ahead and click the link at the top to become a member. Are you? Jen, are you trying to tell us something? Sort of, kind of, maybe a little bit? A little tiny bit? A little bit of pregnant? I started at almost 200 pounds and I'm almost 6 feet tall and I'm practically on the doorstep of maintenance. Makes sense to me. To keep viewers coming back to see if she tells. Jen is kind of pregnant, or somebody is. For content. ploy. Nia been laughing this whole stream. You're on pregnancy's doorstep. You're on pregnancy's doorstep. Okay. Should I read the comments? Only 8 votes so far. Go ahead and vote. Just open your comments really quickly and hit the poll. Should I read the comments? Should I go over some of the comments, or are we, because we did get more questions and answers. What do you think? Are we gonna find some answers in the comments? What do y'all think? Go ahead and vote. Otherwise, my job here is done. I said I wanted to be out of here in 2 hours. It's been 2 hours and 18 minutes. I think I did pretty good. I think I did pretty good. I mean, what did y'all, am I treat like, I don't think I'm tripped. What did y'all think of the stream? Okay, well, like, what did you think of my commentary? You can tell me that. Nicole. Not putting that on the screen. What'd you think of the commentary? Did I give a fair assessment? Did I ask fair questions? Maybe I don't want to see the comments. Maybe I don't need to. 69% say yes. 30% say no. Do they? I was fair. Oh, thank you, sweet tea. My member girly. I was fair. You think so? Okay. Well, let's see if we can find any pushback. Y'all seem to think that she the comments are pretty much just going to be on board. So maybe let's just see real quick. Let's just see. There's a good amount of, I mean, there's 30%. It's not the majority, but there's a good amount of people that don't care to see the comments. So if y'all happen to leave early, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you like and subscribe. But let's see real quick. Let's just out of curiosity, let's just see real quick. I'm going to zoom in because I can't see. So okay. I have been watching your videos ever since I've been on Wegovy, and you hit every time. I'm an RN and your information is so great. I started. Wait a minute. I'm not laughing at this comment, sir. I'm laughing at the irony of I started over 300 pounds, but she did specify. I just thought that was funny considering we was just joking about that. I started over 300 pounds to be exact. I was 315. Okay. I'm so proud of you and the knowledge you bring. Okay. People were talking about themselves. They were telling I think it's funny that people are getting very specific in the comments about their starting, current, and goal weights and their progress on a channel that don't give those numbers at all. Thanks for all the great info. I was always so frustrated because I thought I was losing so slowly. Now I feel good about where I'm at. 28 weeks with compounded TERS, and I've lost 39 pounds, 16 pounds away from my goal. It is so interesting that the people in the comments can do that. This person felt like they were losing slow, even though they averaged more than a pound per week. 28 weeks, 39 pounds. Okay. Let's see. You know what? No. Okay. You know what? I don't want to be. Nobody is addressing what she said. So do they just not care that she changed her thing? No, do they just not care? I'm not reading it because they're not saying anything. They're just talking about themselves, which is not, I mean, I get it, but it's not necessarily relevant. You're doing your meal prep. Okay. Like, another great video. people sharing their weight loss progress. Do they not care that she says she wish? So, okay, so it makes me wonder, like, who is this for? Because, like, if everybody is just saying, like, nobody's addressing the actual video. Nobody's addressing nobody's addressing the topic of I should have titrated up quicker. Nobody's addressing that. Nobody's saying anything about it. Oh, I was just scrolling. I wasn't even looking at the names. Let me see. Did I miss it? Let me see what they said. I wasn't looking at the names, so I wasn't skipping anybody in particular. Okay. Thanks for the kind shout out. As you know, it's possible to be both a high responder and a turtle. Since speed of weight loss and total amount lost are two different things, kind of rare, but it happens. We're both proof. Titrating up slowly makes this more common. On the 72 weeks thing for TERS, as you are very rightly point out, 72 weeks is just an average and people can easily vary. But also keep in mind how we even got that 72-week average to plateau. It's from Lily's clinical trials, and in those trials, patients were forced to titrate up every 4 weeks, which I agree with. It's just a number based on the trials, which she wasn't specifying. But what if you titrated up slower than that? Many people apparently do. The only data I have on it seems to show the average being to titrate up every 2 to 3 months. So if you went up that slow, you will really final plateau at 72 weeks on average. I think that's a good question. Well, likely not. You would have had a lot less time on that 15 in that case. Some people don't even get to the 15 by the 72-week mark. Okay, Cloakster. Okay, Cloakster with the breakdown. Cloakster is making more sense than this entire video. Cloakster is making more sense than this entire video. All right. So this is a very, very good point. So it says, basically, he or she, Cloakster is basically saying that the numbers that we have based on a 72-week average is simply from the trials. And in the trials, people titrated up every 4 weeks, which we know. She didn't specify this, but this is what we know. Now, we don't have the information on what happens if you titrate slower. Like, this is what I'm saying. Where was she getting her information from? Because we don't have, she was assuming she would have gotten better results had she titrated up quicker. She didn't prove that. But anyway, so Cloakster says, so the slow titrators will tend to plateau later, assuming they even get to the higher doses. Some people don't need to. Some people don't even get to the 15 by the 72-week mark. And as you know, high responders tend to plateau later too. The combination of that and slow titration is likely why we're both in the unusual turtles, yet high responders can't. Is slow titration or fast titration, quote unquote, better? It really depends on the individual. I think that's completely fair. Weight loss wise, you eventually end up in the same place anyway, since peak plasma concentration of the meds is a big determiner of how much weight you ultimately lose, which is a fancy way of saying it's dose dependent. But hey, there are side effects, as you mentioned, rushing up to the 15 isn't that feasible for some people. For them, slow titration is king. Otherwise, it's gross and very and a very impaired quality of life. I don't know what FWIW mean. Y'all can tell me. Low responders often, but not always, seem to get hit less hard by the meds, both in weight loss and side effects. So for them, moving up faster to the higher doses makes perfect sense. But super responders who tend to get hit very hard by the meds, both in weight loss and side effects, yeah, they sure don't need to titrate up fast or much at all. People in the middle, the truth is likely in the middle, right? So this is individualistic as fuck, is essentially what this person is trying to say. And I think that's a fair comment. This is the only comment addressing what the fuck she talked about. Someone said they were on 17.5. Okay, maybe somebody got that compounded, because you can't find one channel telling you to titrate up quickly. So I'm surprised no one calls her out. He's usually pretty informative. Did she respond to him? Yes, she did. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Clokey. Whatever. Whatever. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, y'all know, I've had a crash out on Cloakster, but Cloakster has since come back around, so it's okay. But that was a very fair, informative comment. That comment made more sense. That comment damn near debunks the video. And I don't even think that's what Cloakster was trying to do. That comment alone basically says, all that shit you just said, I mean, I hear you, but none of that shit matters. Like, none of what you're talking about matters. And that's not what Cloakster was trying to say. This is my interpretation. My ratchet interpretation of that comment is, I hear you, but here's what actually makes sense. Like, I hear you, but no. I hear you, but no. It's a no. No. Like, no. Respectfully, no. Respectfully, no. They don't normally comment on what she's actually discussed in her video. That's what I'm getting from the comments. I don't know if that's typical. Which is why I thought, like, this is why I was taking so much time to break each individual point down, because I'm like, I clearly see you're talking in circles. That's not going to work. Like, you didn't say shit just now, or you just said some shit that didn't make no sense. And I caught it. And now we're going to break down, or you talked out of both sides of your mouth, or you contradicted yourself, and I caught it. So now we're going to talk about, like, what are you actually trying to say here? I don't know. Nobody else is addressing what she talked about. No. Element salts. Great video. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, this is so great. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is great. Amazing. Thank you. Great info. Element salts. I see why. Okay. No. I'm looking for some pushback. There's no pushback? Wait a minute. How many comments she got? 200 comments. Sort by. No pushback? Wow. That is a perfect chat. It was. That Cloakster comment was wonderful information. That essentially said, it depends on the person. Like, yes, this is what the studies say, but the context matters. They were all titrating up every 4 weeks. The trial was only 72 weeks long. That does not account for the majority of experiences like that. Like, there's a lot of people being left out of that demographic, but it's a good starting point. It's a good guideline, but it's not the end all be all. So what happened, Jen? What happened, girl? Okay, well, I gave it the good old college try. I think I gave it a fair assessment. And that's about the best anyone can hope for. So Sushi Fitness, I'm gonna need you to go time out. So I will say, in conclusion, I don't Jen, they were all starting weight, current weight, goal weight. This is so great. Thank you so much. This is awesome. We love you. Element salts. We love you. We love you. Element salts. I started taking element salts. We love you. Oh my God, this is so great. Thank you so much for. That's what it was all saying, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I wanted to see if someone pushed back. Thank you so much, Kim. Okay, so I'm going to start wrapping up. I think that this meeting is adjourned. This vein meeting has been adjourned. I don't have a better understanding. I don't. Actually, let me go see something real quick. I don't have a better understanding. I don't see where she sabotaged herself. And I don't see why she changed her stance. I'm not saying it's not genuine. I don't know, but I don't have answers, is what I'll say. I don't have answers. Yeah, I don't know. But so with that being said, if you have any videos or content creators that you would like me to review or react to or break down, you can email me. Why is my good night, Sydney? My laptop, not my laptop, my keyboard not connected. Oh, that's ignorant. Why would you do that? Sorry, I'm trying to reconnect my keyboard real quick. Okay, you can. So if you have any content creators or videos or topics that you'd like me to break down or discuss, you can email me at vanityreigns@gmail.com. If you feel like my breakdown or assessment was unfair, you can also email me there and I'll consider doing a panel where we can discuss it. I don't feel like there's any reason to go to stereo after this. I don't really have much more to say. Do y'all? Thank you. Enjoyed the live. Have a restful, peaceful evening, Vanity and chat. Thank you so much, Nia. I'm glad we made you laugh, girl. If you're still watching, please like the stream on your way out. I'm winding down. I am glad that I actually did this this review or breakdown for the people that were wondering like what was happening with the whole stance change on the titration. I don't have an opinion on whether or not it's a gimmick for or a ploy for content or if it's genuine. I don't have an opinion on that part. I will say that. My stance is it depends on the person. What's gonna work for you depends on you. And our job as content creators is to, if this is your content, because some people this is not their content, they just do the news. But if it's your content to share your story, share the story. Don't start leaving shit out and being vague. Like we over here, we believe in being vain. It's okay. It's okay to be a little vain. But the vague, I don't know. Members, y'all might have a vague emoji for about a week. It depends. Well, not emoji. Y'all might have a vague emoji for maybe a month. Maybe if I can come up with a cute design, I'll give y'all a vain sticker or emoji. Not a vain, I'm sorry, vague sticker or emoji for the next month or so. Okay. All right. So thank you to Jen. I'm going to put you on the spot. Thank you to Jen for referring me to the video. I didn't say it in the beginning. Thank you to everybody else that participated in the stream. I'm actually glad you guys thought it was good. I'm glad you thought it was good. I'm not going to put it on members only. I'm going to leave it public. So I don't want to do too much of the chit chat. But again, and hopefully the video doesn't get struck. Like hopefully she don't get upset or anything. But if she does, well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But again, if you want to send me any content ideas that you would like for me to cover, you can email me at vanityreigns@gmail.com. Consider becoming a member. Journey of Life says I have to go too, guys. Good night. See you soon. Good night, everybody. Everybody can say their good nights. Good night, Jen. Good night, Delilah. I got to get out of here because you are not keeping me up for 6 hours again, even though I had such a good time with y'all last night. All right. Good night, Kim. Good night, Sydney. Good night, Sushi Fitness. Good night to Turtle Diaries. Good night to Pat. Good night, good night, good night to everybody. And for everybody else that was watching in the clouds, mwah, I love you. I see you. And I will catch y'all in the next one, which is I don't know when. So that's why your notification should be turned on. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.